Or you can't?
I can only see the first slide. If you can switch to the second.
I am on the second slide. Wait, now?
No.
This is the first introduction. Now I'm on the second slide.
We can only see the first slide, Deepti ji.
Oh, how come? Still not? Okay, let me start. We'll see how we move. I'll start the invocation. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, I know why it happened. Now I guess you can see.
Yes, we can see the slides now.
Yeah, okay. All right. This is going to be a fresh learning curve. Yeah, the way you want to chant, we'll do it 28 to 33.
Okay, sure. Sattvavitu mahabaho gunakarma vibhagayo guna guneshu vartante iti matva na sajjate prakritir guna samudhaha sajjante guna karmasu Tan kritsnavido mandana kritsinvinna vichalaye Mai sarvani karmani sanyasyaadhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha ये मे मतमिदं नित्यम् अनुतिष्ठन्ति मानवाः श्रद्धावन्तो न सूयन्तः मुच्यन्ते तेऽपि कर्मभिः ये ते ये त्वेतदभ्यसूयन्तः नानुतिष्ठन्ति मे मतम् सर्वज्ञानविमूढांस्तान् विद्धि नष्टान् चेतसः सदृशं चेष्टते स्वस्याः प्रकृतेः ज्ञानवानपि प्रकृति यान्ति भूतानि निग्रहः किं करिष्यति इन्द्रियस्येन्द्रियस्यार्थे रागद्वेषौ विवस्थितौ तयोर्न वशमागच्छेत् तौ ह्यस्य परिपन्थिनौ.
Very good. Yes, thank you. So we are checking we are seeing verse 33. If you go back a little to catch up the thought flow, it started from verse 26. What started from verse 26? He's telling those who are Vidwan that act in a way that others can see the change from Prakrit to Gyan based living. So you live your knowledge. In other words, live your knowledge. When you live your knowledge, then others will see the difference between what is a natural Prakrit. Prakrit means from Prakriti. Now we'll see it. Generated reactions, responses, svabhava. And even if one doesn't know the knowledge, doesn't have the knowledge, one still knows what is one's own prakrit expression, one's own natural expressions that come out under various circumstances. So he had said, Krishna's telling Vidwan, do not unsettle the mind of those who are still not prepared to receive knowledge. Why? He said, because who are those people? First, who are those people? They are those who are governed by their own prakriti. Prakriti is gunas. They are governed by their own gunas and identified with their own gunas. They believe themselves naturally as an outcome that I am the doer of these actions. Whereas, really speaking, it is the gunas that are expressing themselves. Gunas are functioning, gunas function. But one who's deluded by an identification with these gunas, as I am the body, I am the mind, I am this buddhi, I am these characteristics, I am these qualities, I am this, etc., etc. Such people, they are ahankar based. Their identification is ahankari. That ahankar identified, expressed itself as I am the body, I am so and so. Such people believe themselves to be the karta. Karta aham iti manyate. Whereas the contrast was 28th verse, tattvavit, the one who knows, who's here said in the 26th verse is vidvan. Such a one, he sees very clearly that karmas respectively come from their own gunas. Therefore, he does not get attached to them, he does not identify with them. He knows that guna guneshu vartante. Gunas only abide in gunas. Gunas here means the senses. Those senses will move in their sense objects. Guneshu. गुण अपने गुण के आधारित जो विषय हैं उनमें चरण करते हैं, उनमें बसते हैं, उनमें उनसे जुड़ते हैं. सो गुणा गुणेशु वर्तन्ते. ऐसा जानते हुए द विद्वान, द तत्वविद, they do not get attached, they do not identify with these gunas. Therefore, the delusion that I am the doer doesn't superimpose itself. I am the doer is an adhyas, it's a misapprehension. This misapprehension doesn't form because they believe gunas will act themselves out. 29th verse, he said again, concluding this 27-28 thought flow, prakritehe guna sammudhaha. Deluded by the gunas of Prakriti, those who are attached to their karmas. Now here that Vidvan, Tattvavit is called Kritsnavit. That Kritsnavit should not disturb these. Tan akritsnavit. Those who are ahankar vimudhatma, who get attached to their gunas and believe themselves to be the karta, such people, akritsnavit, their knowledge is not comprehensive, their knowledge is not poonam, their knowledge is not formed fully. They still have limitations in their understanding and knowledge, and therefore are identifying with limited upadhis. They are akritsnavit. Do not disturb them. Na vichalayet. Instead, what do? Sarvani karmani sanyasya mai. To me, offer all your karmas. Do all your karmas for my sake. As with Vivek Buddhi, without any attachment to results, without any mamatva in the karma, in the results, ऐसा होकर भूतवा, ऐसा बनकर, युध्यस्व, fight, vigata jwaraha, without any jwar, and here jwar said santapaha, shokaha, without any grieving, without any disturbance. Specialize your mind in a way, modify your mind in a way through attitudes, right attitudes, that you are able to generate this attitude before you do your karma. This having done, he said in 31st verse, whoever is following this matam of mine, which matam? 30th verse and all this karam yoga that he has said so far. Whoever is following this matam, which is nityam, which is eternal, and whoever is following this always, nityam anutishtanti, whoever always follows this knowledge of mine, those people, along with Shraddha and Anasuya, having Shraddha in these words and not finding faults in it where there are none, they get freed from karmas. They also get freed from karmas. That api word is not to be taken as also, as in there is an alternative, but they in this manner, api was taken as in this manner, they also get freed of karma in time because chitta shuddhi takes place. Now, in 32nd verse, he showed the opposite of those who do not have Shraddha, means those who do not have Shraddha, and they are also finding faults in this Shastra Vidya, in Bhagwan's words. Those who are asuya by vritti, asuya by nature, they go on picking things up where there is nothing to be picked up. Those asuya, they are sarva jnana vimudhan. They are deluded from all knowledges. And all knowledge is meant they are confused with what is relevant in life, what is the pursuit of life, what they should be doing, what is to be done now with pramana, prameya, and prayojan. With all of the three aspects, they are confused. So they do not know which knowledge is for what. And supposing it's like in Vedanta, they won't see it as moksha shastra, they will see it as a success shastra, they will etc etc. So there is a confusion there. That confusion, he says, these are completely mixed up in their mind. So they lose sight of what is to be done, when is it to be done, how much is to be done, with what attitude is to be done, what is to be sought in life, what is to be done in life, etc etc. When this is their condition of internal condition, their condition of mind, know them vitti, know them nashtan. They are they are know them to be destroyed. Achetasaha means they are non-thinking people. Aviveki, they don't think. So they have lost out on the purpose of human life, and they can be further slipping themselves away into doing things that they should not be doing. Therefore, they will accumulate all kinds of experiences and do karmas which will have their own results and etc. So the whole cycle gets muddled up. Muddled up, khichdi pak jati hai. In that sense, it's just a way of saying that the life gets mixed up with too many unwanted or undesirable experiences or elements, things like that. Then he said in 33rd verse, Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha. Now, here is where I wanted to come to the point. Why is Krishna telling us the importance of understanding guna guneshu vartante? He said in 33rd verse, he says, all beings, jnani, agyani, or any being, everyone, you know, for all of them, their own effort, sadrisham cheshtate, चेष्टा, सबकी चेष्टा अपने ही प्रकृति से होती है. Every चेष्टा in everyone comes from their own prakriti. Even for the one who is a jnani, jnanavan api, even for the one who has jnana, if the one who has jnana also is functioning from his own prakriti, then obviously what to talk about those who are not jnanis? When jnani is also acting from their own prakriti, then what are we talking about ajnanis? Those who have been deluded, overpowered by their prakriti. What will we talk about them? Prakritim yanti bhutani. All beings move towards their own prakriti. Their prakriti impels them to move in their own direction. Whichever prakriti there is, it makes them go there. Nigraha kim karishyati. What will nigraha, control, force, what will it do? Now, this nigraha kim karishyati, connected to the verse that we just saw as revision, when he says, do not interfere with those who do not have the readiness to receive the knowledge and are attached to karma. If you will force them to change their path, it's harmful for them. That explanation Krishna is giving here. Nigraha kim karishyati. What is the point? What will be the gain of impelling someone towards Jnana Marg, knowing fully well that Jnanam is a direct means for moksha for everyone? For everyone. When knowledge is the direct means of moksha, then everybody should seek that. Everybody should benefit from it. That is what Arjun had asked. Why are you pushing me towards doing some ghor karma when I am ready to take sannyas and ready to seek this life of renunciation, atma vichar, live on bhiksha without any possessions for moksha? I'm ready for all of that. Then why are you stopping me? So one thing is to be told connected to just immediate verse behind and telling us Nigraha kim karishyati. What will control do when Prakriti is very powerful, forceful? Apna svabhava is strong. And we are coming to details from the Bhashyam. How has that Prakriti come about today? This Prakriti we have today is acquired by our own past Janma, Dharma, Adharma collection. That collection is strong, is powerful. It erupts itself, it manifests itself. It is always making a person do cheshta. Swabhavik cheshta jahan nikalti hai. That swabhavik cheshta jo nikalti hai, that is one's own prakriti. I believe in the, maybe even now, when children are given their namakaran ceremony, at that time, once the namakaran ceremony has gone, it probably was more of a game, but it came from such a wisdom. It may also have worked out in some children. They would put 4 things in front of a child. By then, I guess the child is ready to crawl. They would keep a book, any Shastra Vidya book, a little away from the child, not very far, but a little away, at a distance from each other. One place would be a book, another place would be some sort of a weapon or something, uh, like those plastic toys or something, banduk or something like this. They would keep that. Third place they would keep is a kind of a weighing scale or some sort of a money or something, and more like a weighing, that in those days it was that taraju kind of a thing they would keep there. So, and the fourth would be they would place a broom. So after the namakaran ceremony, they would leave the child free and 4 in front of them, and they would observe where does the child gravitate automatically. Now, cheshta word we dealt with in details last class is that swabhavik pravritti, apne aap, spontaneously. without someone telling us to do something, without someone asking us to do something, without someone forcing us, of course, is a far off thing, without someone guiding us, without someone pointing to us, without any external source, in short. When there is no external source, then where will you gravitate? Where do you gravitate? What do you do? Where is your interest there? Uh, didn't have time, but I wanted to do this experiment maybe sometime. We've done it in the past also. If you keep a whole, here, since it's online, you keep a whole image, a lot of images puzzled together, jumbled together, lot of images. What does your eye draw attention on? That is prakriti. Swabhavik kaha jati hai? It is based on this prakriti, which next verse he's going to talk of is your swadharma. What you should be doing should be based on your prakriti. Your prakriti is what you have acquired. Where did he say this? Here he said, Purvakrit, in these their own words, it's very clear. Purvakrit dharma adharma adi samskaraha. Purvakrit, पहले किए हुए, पूर्वम में, पूर्व मीन्स दिस मोमेंट, पूर्वम कितने भी जन्म पीछे, बट दिस मोमेंट बैकवर्ड्स. धर्म अधर्म आदि. Dharmas means punya karmas, good karmas, shastra vihit karma, what you ought to be doing. Adharma means papa karma, shastra nishiddha karma, what you should not be doing. Having done those karmas have left, not directly, but ultimately they leave a samskar. The explanation Shastra tells us, samskar is not direct result of karma. कर्मा से आप जो फल को भोगते हो, वेरी केयरफुल, कर्मा, आप उससे एक फल भोगते हो, वो जो फल भोगते हो उसका संस्कार आता है. That's going to be, these are very subtle, so you'll need some attention to keep the thought flow going. I'm going to repeat it. This is a definition, we should memorize it wherever we will need it, of Prakriti that Bhashyakar has given us. Whatever past done actions, वो कर्म हम किसी इच्छा से करते हैं, हम किसी प्राप्ति के लिए करते हैं. धर्म अधर्म, that whatever we have done, वो फल जब मिलता है या जो भी एक्सपीरियंस होता है, not all karmas give us good experience, the experience we wanted. There'll be a mixture of experience. Some are desirable, some experiences are not desirable. But we still pursued them, thinking they will be desirable, but when the outcome came, they were not so desirable. So irrespective, but wo jo phal bhoga means my experience. Phal bhog in English would be called as an experience. The experience that I had born because of my own actions and interactions, that experience leaves behind a samskar. These are collected. They are sanchit. They are in collection all the time. We are collecting them. From that samskar, vartamana janmado, janma ad. In this present time, the present janma has begun. Abhivyaktaha. You have manifested as a particular kind of a expression of a guna, predominant. Like I said, if the child gravitated towards the book, it's a broad outline. It's a very broad outline that you would know that this child's interest is in that. Child doesn't know. Child still is not conscious of where he is moving. But it's a very right stage to know what could be the inherent manifestation to result in life. And it is fairly accurate. But it's not, you can't judge on it, but it was giving some sort of a clue to the adults around. This is likely what the child's gunas could be. Maybe child has freedom. It's going to come in the next verse. We all have freedom because freedom is not going to be denied. But the place of Prakriti, first we must understand this. Then we will understand where does that freedom really have a scope. Where is Purusharth got a scope? So in 33rd verse, he is clarifying to us that even a Jnani is born in the present. His present life has manifested because of his own Purvakrit Dharma Adharma. That Prakriti, Swabhav, इसको यहाँ पे स्वभाव कहेंगे. So in the cosmic level, we said it is Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Those Sattva, Rajas, Tamas at an individual level is our own inclinations. Sattvic inclinations, Rajasic inclinations, Tamasic inclinations. That, he says, everyone comes to act according to their own past collected sanskars. उसी से ज्ञानी भी. So what are we talking about? Here Shankara says, Kim punaha murkhaha, means those who do not have knowledge. I'm repeating how samskars are made. पूर्वकृत, पहले किए हुए. धर्म, शास्त्र विहित कर्म. पुण्य कर्म, जो पुण्य फल देते हैं. शास्त्र विहित कर्म, अच्छे कर्म, जनरलाइज इट. अधर्म, जो शास्त्र निषिद्ध कर्म है, वो वाले कर्म. When we pursue them with an idea that they are going to give us some fruits, phal. And when they give us those fruits, phal jab hum bhogte hain, that experience that we have from our efforts that we put in, they leave a impression, they leave a samskar. Samskar as in they get strengthened. वही कर्म जो हम परस्यू करते हैं, they get strengthened. And from that collection, at a particular manifestation of your life, a certain set of gunas will manifest. Powerful. Prakriti is powerful. Balwan hai. That's the right word. And kitni balwan hai is what we need to understand here. Then we know where does the Purusharth come. I am repeating once more. These few verses 33, 34, 35, and from 26 onwards, if you go on repeating to yourself again and again, go on reading them again and again, you will come to understand that Purusharth and natural Prakriti, जो होना है वो होगा. As people say, destiny, nobody could have done it. Your prarabdha. Where is the placement of what? कहाँ पे पुरुषार्थ लगता है? That clarity comes in these verses. He's going to talk in the next verse. Here what he's talking is what we need to grasp completely. In a simple line, single line, one's swabhav is very strong, powerful. Who doesn't know this? अपना अपना स्वभाव बहुत शक्तिशाली होता है, बहुत बलवान होता है. That's why we say we can't change people. Then we try to console ourselves. We can't change ourselves. How can we change someone else? You can't change yourself is a very generalized statement. Idea is, With little effort, you can't change yourself. प्रकृति आपके जो अपने strength है, acquired from your past, it has a lot of force. That force cannot be diminished just by thinking, just by very little effort. I hope it's clear now how samskars are made. So Prakriti is powerful. This power that it has, he says, just by connecting it to 26th verse, and also the second part that I would started but I left in between. One is 26th verse, connecting it to the person who is a viveki. Do not disturb the minds of others because Prakriti बहुत strong hai. And it is true. Even if supposing you have come, you say, okay, I want a spiritual life, but you're not ready for the changes that the spiritual life brings to a person. And you still have those habits of yours. You love all kinds of external things and external, you are extroverted by nature. And when Shastra would or lifestyle would ask you to sit quiet in a place for a little while, maybe for a few days or weeks you can because it's new. But after some time, it revolts from inside, it rebels from inside. It creates confusion, it creates restlessness from inside because your Prakriti from inside wants an expression which you are forcing yourself not to give an outlet. So, to the Viveki, it said, do not disturb them. To Arjun, and it comes to our application now to all of us. Arjun, who wanted to take sannyas, and Krishna is telling him, fight. What does it mean? Here, he is one who is by gunas, swabhav se. वो क्या है by स्वभाव? He is by nature a क्षत्रिय. उसकी प्रकृति क्या है? उसके गुण क्या हैं? उसके गुण हैं कि he will be fighting. He fights for righteous causes. He cannot sit quiet. He will not be able to sit with the Shastra Vidya for too long. In fact, even during the Gita discourse happening to him, you could see him at every point in a state of non-understanding because, as we have said in the second chapter itself, Krishna has already told him what he should be doing. Till 18th chapter, there was no need for a conversation. If he had understood, if he was ready mode of receiving the knowledge, if he was ready for knowledge, everything was given away in second chapter. Bhagavad Gita should have ended. But no, he was not ready. So Krishna knew that he is not ready. He needs more explanations. He needs more convincing. He needs to quieten his mind. He is not ready for karma sannyas. He needs to do karma and do sannyas of karma phal first. Then in time he will grow to also take karma sannyas. Therefore, Arjun, your own prakriti is very powerful. We used to joke. As students, we were given this joke, and I believe it is true in olden. Now the study has changed a lot, but about 30 years, 40 years ago, also, people would have to leave everything to pursue Vedantic knowledge. By our times, we at least did not have to go to Himalayas and difficult places, but just before us, so say 40 years ago, also 50 years ago, people had to leave mainstream life, mainstream cities, and go withdraw themselves into places where these learned people would dwell in pursuit of higher knowledge. So over there, it was a joke in ashrams. I have been told that in one of the ashrams at that time in Rishikesh, Sivananda's ashram, one of the very first ashrams. So, I'm talking about 60, 70, 80 years ago before probably. This incident is handed down to us as a learning in this context. how your gunas would express. So there was a student who was very active, and very soon it was found that he is not going to be ready for knowledge, and he was more of a trader by gunas. So after studying and everything, his mind would keep on going, yahan pe aur kya kar sakte, because Rishikesh was not so developed at that time. So what can we do, what can we do here? So finally his mind would go to say, let's start a tea stall, and his name would be Vedanta tea stall, or Hare Rama tea stall, or something like this, or a bookstall, or he would gravitate automatically, etc., etc. I think we get the idea. The example is to give us an idea that even if you are made to do something which is not in your nature, by your own purvakrit, these words are very important. The more I go on dwelling on these, the more I feel I can't move ahead, because every word has so much knowledge in it. It's a wisdom, it's an unfoldment, it's a perception that Shankara lends to us. It's pure gyan. What is it? Even laukik means how life functions. Even in that manner, this is clear knowledge, very clear to anyone. Vartamana Janma Adav. My present birth has begun. By what? By my own collected past samskar. My Janma today is a verification of my own gunas. उसी में से मेरा आज जन्म हुआ है, उन्हीं गुणों में से मेरे कलेक्टेड गुणों में से ही मेरा जन्म हुआ है. Therefore, now I'm making a big statement. Veda's view for self growth is follow your own nature, whatever it is. Even if you gravitate to the broom, Vedas are not looking down upon you. If you've gravitated to the broom or to the book, to the Veda itself, wherever your gravitation is, natural inclination is, अपने स्वभाव कहाँ आपका एक्सप्रेस होता है, किस एरिया में, किस फील्ड में, किस एनवायरमेंट में आप तुष्ट पाते हो अपने आप को, मीन्स किस एनवायरमेंट में यू फील more attuned, more relaxed, more centered, more anchored, more happy, more cheerful, more, you just know. It's like birds of a feather flock together. आपको अपना पता चलता है कि मैं यहाँ कंफर्टेबल हूँ, इस एनवायरमेंट में मैं कंफर्टेबल हूँ, इस एनवायरमेंट में मैं कंफर्टेबल नहीं हूँ. It's not a judgment, it is a assessment of your own nature, and respecting your nature, whatever it is. It's your own collected karmas based on your own past understanding. There are more details that through Upanishads and all that you get, but I'm going to restrict it here to this much. First layer of clarity. That he says, understand your present nature has come from there. So that field of your own interest where you gravitate naturally, अपनी प्रकृति जहां आपको flow कर रही है, that karmas in that field, he said in the 30th verse, offer them to me. Mai sarvani karmani. All those actions, wherever you are gravitating to, offer them to me. Because he said, Nigraha kim karishyati. You cannot change that fundamental composition of your own nature. स्वभाव आप अपना बदल नहीं सकते हो forcefully. He says, because prakritim yanti anugachanti bhutani praninaha. All the beings, prani, all bhutas means all pranis, every living being, anugachanti, move towards yanti, according to their own prakriti. Nigraha, Nigraha is nishedha roop. Nishedha roop means mat karo, mat karo, mat karo. That is why when you tell too much of it, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. He says, Kim karishyati, nishedha rupaha kim karishyati, mama va anyasya va. He says, even if I give you mandates, don't do this, don't. That's why you say if mind is such a chalu cheese. Yeah. Neha, your question will come in the next verse. So, mind is such a, I call it chalu cheese in the sense that it justifies so beautifully that the minute someone says, don't do this, what is the next thing that comes to the mind?
It rebels. Whatever you ask it to do, it wants to rebel from that.
So, what? Hanji?
Why should you not do?
Why should I not do it? Why should I not do it? Don't do this. Why? Why should I not do it? Do this. Has anybody ever said, why should I do it? Malab, you know the spirit. Of course, you say, why should I do it? When you don't want to do it. When you don't want to do it, you will say, why should I do it? When someone says, do this, this is good for you. Suddenly your mind goes, why should I do it? How is it good for me? Means I don't want to do it. And if someone says, don't do it, automatically the mind goes and says, why should I not do it? I want to do it. Nigraha, nishedha roop means when you say you can't do this, and that's why all this is very wrong. Wrong I'm using. I know I'm using strong word, but I want to convey it as is. It is wrong to lay down forceful disciplinary measures in the name of spiritual growth. Your question will also come soon, Beena ji, in the next verse or following it. If it doesn't get answered in the next two verses, then we'll take it up as a question separately. But have a patience and get the whole thought, and it will get answered in the time. There's a process that Bhagavad Gita is explaining, and this process is an explanation, simplified explanation of what Veda's way of life is told to human beings. So first understand your own gunas, understand your own nature. गुना शायद ना समझ में आए, लेकिन अपने स्वभाव समझ में आता है. कहाँ मेरा अपना natural, that cheshta word must be remembered. Nobody should tell me, but what do I do? Nobody should force me, nobody should point to me, nobody should guide me, but where will I naturally put effort? That cheshta. That cheshta, he says, wherever field it is, whether it is in the field of brooming or it is in the field of grooming, wherever this field is, arpanam astu. Krishna arpanam astu. Ishvara arpanam astu. That action you offer to him, that I am doing this because this is all I can really do. There is a limited capacity. I am a jiva bhav. I have my own individuality. Unless and until I'm clear in my mind that this sense of individuality is not what is fulfilling me. Anything that I get with this sense of individuality, how will it fulfill me? Therefore, there must be a way which is fulfilling. And what is that fulfilling way? Your own nature, अपने स्वभाव के हिसाब से, अपनी कैपेसिटी के हिसाब से, अपने जो कंफर्टेबल है उतने में. You don't have to exert, you don't have to break rocks, you don't have to dig caves, you don't have to explore oceans, you don't have to discover new. कुछ नहीं करना. If you are just cleaning a table, I'm reminded of There used to be a driver. I see you here. I think Ritu here. There used to be a driver. We have never found a driver like him. This I'm talking about 20 years ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago. You know, he, that a person can give you comfort when you're sitting. A driver can give you comfort and a sense of security the way he drives in that attitude. Now, his attitude of just doing his work, if that such an excellent dedication to work, if he is able, if he does, we don't know, if he does, arpanamastu, then to for whom he is doing becomes secondary. Whether he is driving us at the back seat, or he is driving prime minister at the back seat, or he is driving anybody at the back seat, a house helper he is taking somewhere, anybody sitting at the back, doesn't matter, because what is he doing? He is simply dedicating it. That's the best he can do in his life. This is what he's qualified for. he can only drive. If he can drive in a way that the person sitting at the back can fall off to sleep, can be so relaxed, that means if his attitude, if he says, Bhagwan, this is what I can do, my best, and done. Now, the person sitting at the back would know the difference in how that change of attitude has even changed the experience of the one who is associated in it. Is this making sense so far? So, prakritim yanti anugachanti bhutani. According to your own nature, you will keep gravitating to doing what you do. Everyone will move according to their nature. There are many things like that. And life's choices are made based on that. Very few people would appreciate this probably from Shastra Vidya, not general people. Even from Shastra Vidya, very few people would appreciate the fact that Shastra's knowledge to us is helping us decide, choose what is to be done now for me. What should I be doing? So many choices get cleared up because I know what is my natural inclination towards. If I have to make a big, let's leave it at that. I think any more examples, I'm sure you people can figure it out. As long as the principle is understood, that's the idea of an example. So these are just examples given to say, nigraha kim karishyati. And here, the idea is durnigraha prakritihi, means iti vakya sheshaha. What is to be concluded from this is durnigraha means difficult to control. Prakriti is difficult to control. Let's accept this first, and then we will start whether it can be changed or not, whether I have any influence at all over my own nature, whether I have to just accept it, because if I have to accept it, then what should be your natural question? If supposing I go by this verse and I come out learning only that, as this verse has said, Prakriti is powerful, what can anyone do? Even a Jnani acts on his Prakriti. That is what I have learned. So what gets falsified immediately? What becomes redundant? What becomes useless?
That I have, like, the ego.
You get complacent that what you are doing is fine.
Okay. What will get completely nullified, zeroed? मतलब कोई फायदा ही नहीं है इसका तो फिर. My question's clear?
निग्रह का कोई फायदा नहीं.
नहीं, अगर प्रकृति से ही सब कुछ चल रहा है और निग्रह बहुत मुश्किल है, अपने आप अगर आप अपने स्वभाव से ही सिर्फ कर्म कर सकते हो, या अपना स्वभाव ही सिर्फ express करेगा. और निग्रह is very very difficult and not even advised in a way. ज्ञानी भी सिर्फ उसी में करता है, तो what becomes useless? Yes, all of you right. Purusharth, effort, correct, to change. All this becomes meaningless. More than that, what becomes meaningless? Other than that, what becomes meaningless? In other words, we are saying Purusharth is not useful. That is okay, fine. Purusharth and effort to change, koi fayda hi nahi, because okay, moksha also gets nullified, fine. Shastras get nullified, excellent. The entire Shastras get nullified. This knowledge, what are we learning for? The whole knowledge useless it becomes. Shastras would get nullified if there was no scope of improvement. Sorry. If there was no scope of a change, what are we studying? Why are we pursuing anything? कोई फायदा ही नहीं है फिर तो इन चीजों का. The whole process of education will get useless because Prakriti is powerful and nothing will work on it. Krishna remaining Krishna did not interfere with Arjuna's Prakriti, did not interfere with any one of their Prakriti. He was 70 plus by the time he gave this Gita. More than 70-year-old he was. Before he even got an opportunity to talk Gyan in his entire lifetime. He was dealing with political issues, geographical issues, he was dealing with environmental issues, he was dealing with all these issues. But he only got an opportunity to talk as a part of his, in the 4th chapter when the Avatara Rahasya comes, as a part of him being an avatar, he also has to do Dharma Sansthapanartham. He has to reinstate Dharma, for which he has to bring up people who follow Dharma. And knowledge is the only way you can learn. So he says here, there is even one more subtle point. I'll take it up another time. So he says here, this Prakriti, in the form of just don't do, is Durnigraha. Understand there is powerful nature. Now start expanding it into other things in life. If someone is an angry person, just by saying don't be angry, what is the end result of it? Don't be angry. Someone gets angry and you say, don't be angry. What happens?
You get more angry.
You get
We
more
get
angry.
more angry.
You get more angry. Absolutely. You will get more angry. There are so many changes this understanding can bring in you with reference to people around you, your relation with people around you, your expectation with people around you, your expectations with yourself, your understanding of your own self. First and foremost, basic acceptance. There is a svabhava. All of us have individual svabhava, and that svabhava is difficult to change. But is it impossible to change? Is it absolutely not able to change? He says, no, there is a change possible. That change he talks of now in the next verse. But otherwise, everybody is similar. There is a Subhashita. I don't remember all the verses, but everything's common between animals and human beings. Okay, let's take the fundamental one. Everyone will move towards, if a stranger comes and gives you a rose. There was a social experiment done recently. It became very wide. responses, checking responses of strangers by just offering them something. So you offer them a flower or a chocolate or something like this on a stranger, just a passerby. So each one, it's very fascinating. Each one has very different response. Some people are very scared because the stranger, you have suspicious look. Some stranger is offering you something. Should you or should you not? Some people are so natural, spontaneously friendly, and they just reach out. Oh, someone's giving. Thank you, and a nice pleasure. Just a smile because there's trust there. Some people don't have trust, etc., etc. Why did I bring this example? How would you know? Anyway, but I brought this
Social experiment. There
Huh.
was a social experiment done. Who said that?
For this social.
Just to test the behavior.
The natures that express themselves differently. Everyone has a certain prakriti, and that the will everyone will move towards. That's what we were saying. If you give them something that they look for, no, if they give them something that is they look upon as desirable, remember these words, we'll take them tomorrow. If you give them something that they look upon that thing as desirable, ishtam, they look upon it as ishtam, a rose, a flower, someone's giving it to you, it suddenly brings a smile on your face. Why are they giving? Somebody gives you a compliment, suddenly it gives you a smile on your face. Why are you being complimented, etc., etc. Ishta, ishta means desirable. When I have a perception of desirability on certain object in the world, includes beings, that ishtam will always give us a sense of I like it, I want it. That's called rag. And if anything that I have an anishta view of, anishta means I don't want this, I don't have a desirable view of it, I don't think I like that, I don't think this is what I want, etc. If you have anishta outlook on anything, it develops into a dvesh. You want to run away from it. You don't want it. You move away from it. So this experiment was common between, to an animal if you show grass, to a cow if you stand apart. When you go to zoos and all these places, animal shows where they have, and then you offer them some food. What dur se bhi, if you offer them a food, what does that animal do? Comes to you. If you hold a stick in your hand, what does the animal do? Moves away from you. Then this is being quoted by Shankara in Adhyasa Bhashyam of Brahma Sutra. Pashwadhibhihi cha avisheshat means, actually speaking, between humans and Pashu, Adi, all living beings, there is this fundamental common thing between us at the level of Prakriti. प्रकृति में राग और द्वेष एक्सप्रेस होता है. That is prakriti. And this in the next verse, I think we should take it tomorrow. It's 6:38. We can take it now, a little bit. This prakriti is what he's going to talk of. What can be done? How do we channelize, or how do we change what we want to change? And that, I think we are through with this. Any questions so far? I'll see if there's any point I have left from here. Madhusudan ji is saying, Tatra there, mama va ragnya va nigraha kim karishyati. Ragnya means king. Whether me or the king, means anybody who orders something, what will control do? Rag, this is a good point. 1 minute, Shakuntala ji. I'll just come back to you. Rag उत्कट्येन दुरितात् निवर्तयितुं न शक्नोति इति अर्थः. Raga utkatyena. When raga has got expressed, प्रकृति में राग और द्वेष दोनों उद्भव होते हैं. They express themselves, manifest themselves. Durita nivarayatum. It is difficult to control them. Na shaknoti. Not possible. Iti arthaha. It is difficult. Mahanaraka sadhanatvam jnanatva api. Durvasana prabalyat papeshu pravartamanan na mat shasana atikrama doshat vipyati iti bhavaha. Seeing where the connection was. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow with this. Yes. You want to ask something? Is that okay so far, everyone? आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
दीप्ति जी प्रणाम.
हाँ जी.
जैसे आपने कहा प्रकृति जो है वो चेंज हो सकती है, बट बेसिकली जो हमारी होती है हम उसी के डायरेक्शन में जाते हैं. तो क्या अनकॉन्शियसली भी प्रकृति लाइफ इवेंट्स की वजह से या फिर कैसे भी चेंज होती है क्या? लाइक कॉन्शियस एफर्ट्स हम आगे बढ़ेंगे, बट क्या अनकॉन्शियसली बिकॉज ऑफ लाइफ इवेंट्स हमारी प्रकृति चेंज होती है?
हमारी प्रकृति अनकॉन्शियसली चेंज नहीं होती है. हमारी प्रकृति के हिसाब से हम उस लाइफ इवेंट को देखते हैं, तो वही रीइंफोर्स हो जाती है फिर से. ओके, तो वो एक लूप बन जाता है, एक साइक्लिकल लूप बन जाता है. हमें लगता है कि इवेंट ने हमारा को बदला, बट एक्चुअली इवेंट ने हमको नहीं बदला. जो हमारे अंदर था वो इवेंट के कारण उभर आया, वो निकल आया, वो मैनिफेस्ट हो गया, वो अब दिख गया हमको. वो हमारे अंदर ही था, हमारे ही गुण थे वो. ओके. Is verse 33 a reiteration of guna guneshu? Yes, in a way. He's concluding the topic. By 35th verse, he's concluding the topic. That's why I started 26th onwards. Actually, there is a breakup here. So 27th, he's saying Prakriti concept, he started again. In the previous verse also, he mentioned them. So he's concluding them now. Very gradually, he's coming to the conclusion of what he wants to emphasize. And 33 is, yes, a reaffirmation of the force of Prakriti. And do not unsettle the minds of those who are attached to their own gunas. Do not disturb their minds. And a reminder to us, as a reminder to Arjun, act according to your Prakriti, but you will grow when you offer those actions, do those actions as Karam Yog and not as Bhoga Yog. Bhog vritti se mat karo karmo ko, Yog vritti se karo. That will give you benefits. That will give you freedom in the long run. Okay. Can you please chant this 34th verse twice? Excuse me.
Indriyasindriyasyatheng ragadvaisho vivasthitam tayornavashamagacchen tau yasya paripanthina. Indriyasindriyasyathe ragadvaishau vivasthitam tayornavashamagacchen गौह्यस्य परिपन्थिना.
Here he says, Shankara, but connecting it to the next verse. Yadi sarvaha jantuhu. So much I'm sure everybody's understood. Yadi, if sarvaha, all, jantuhu, pranis, beings, atmanaha prakriti, according to one's own prakriti, apni hi prakriti, atmana, apni hi, not atma, but apni prakriti, sadrisham eva cheshtate, in accordance to one's own prakriti, sadrisham, in accordance with one's own prakriti, ही एव चेष्टते, चेष्टा करते हैं, न च प्रकृति शून्यः कश्चित् अस्ति, and there is no one at all, कोई भी नहीं, कश्चित्, no one, न कश्चित् अस्ति, there is no one, प्रकृति शून्यः, who is without prakriti, prakriti ही तो है जो manifest में है, so who is the one, there is no one who is without prakriti, ततः, then पुरुषकारस्य विषय अनुपपत्तेः शास्त्र अनर्थक्य प्राप्तौ idam uchyate. Then purushakar means one's own individual effort for vishaya, any vishaya, becomes anupapatte, becomes untenable, becomes redundant. Uska scope ही नहीं रह जाता. That would be the right way to say it. Purushkar means the effort put by a purusha for any vishaya becomes, there's no scope left for it. Shastra anarthakya also. Prapto. Even the Shastra Vidya becomes anarthakya. Anartha means redundant, as we just saw. This is being said, means it will reduce it to no individual effort can be put. Then what is the difference between all other living beings and a human being? If human being also cannot put any individual effort, then you are like a pashu. Then why is human birth so glorified? Can human being put in individual effort? What is called willpower? What is called, how much is it a destiny? How much is it a change under one's own possibility? How much is under your will that can be applied and be changed? That clarity is very subtle, but when it comes, it's a tremendous gain in life. In every situation, you know which situation you just have to accept and which situation is under your scope of purusharth, and how should you direct your purusharth, where should you direct your purusharth, so that you get freed in time, you get the object, but also not be bound by the object. That is what he's now talking in this verse, which is going to be indriyasya arthe. इंद्रिय अपने ही अर्थों में means विषयों में व्यवस्थित है. I'll just start and then we'll take it tomorrow. व्यवस्थित है means it is only moving towards, it is organized in a way that senses move towards their sense objects. व्यवस्थित क्या है? राग द्वेष इसमें व्यवस्थित है. For whatever is ishtam, Indriya will move towards that object where I have ishtam vritti, means I value it. I have a value for it. I see a value for it. I have a desirability is the right word. I have a desirability for it. My rag will be there. What I have no desirability for, dvesh will be there. I will not like it. I will want to move away from it. I will want to run away from it. I will want to escape it. I will want to avoid it. I don't want to confront it. I don't want to look at it. Use any terms. Behavior to wahi hoga. I don't want it. And dvesh can move as much as you uh, allow that to remain with you, that much dvesh will go on building over that dislike. So, likes and dislikes are very mild words for rag and dvesh. Rag and dvesh becomes the last point of your fall. Likes and dislikes, when you translate it in English, are still very manageable. But raga dvesh is being spoken of as at the last point of bondage. This is where you are bound. Tayoho na vasham agachet. Tayoho, between these two, both of them, rag and dvesh. Na vasham agachet. No one should come under their influence. Uske vash mein na agachet. Do not be under their influence. Do not come, do not get succumbed to them. Do not succumb to them. Uske vash mein koi bhi na ho. Tau hi asya paripanthinam. This is, there are certain portion, every portion of Shastra Vidya is जन्म जन्मांतर काटने वाले ज्ञान है ये. It doesn't come very easily in understanding. You cannot find this knowledge anywhere else. What is it that robs you of your own peace of mind? आपकी शांति का शत्रु कौन है? आप शांति is starting. आपके मोक्ष का शत्रु कौन है? What prevents you from being peaceful, from being happy, from being enlightened, from being, what prevents, what stops? Raga dvesh are your paripanthino. Panthi means path pe chalne wala. Paripanthi means उसमें बाधा डालने वाला. They are your पथी का, पथी मीन्स जो पाथ पे चल रहा है उसपे जो बाधा डाल देता है वो राग द्वेष है. So it prevents your gati. It prevents your, it's working against your interest. आपको जो चाहिए वो उसमें बाधा डाल रहा है. आपको चाहिए पूर्णता, आपको चाहिए आनंद, आपको चाहिए सुख, आपको चाहिए शांति. राग द्वेष उसको भंग करता है. And it robs away in the long run your own, all your spiritual acquired qualities. It robs away. Therefore, Krishna's advice is no one should become a prey to. Do not become a prey to your own ragadvesh. अपने रागद्वेष में उनको अपने वश में, मतलब उनके वश में आप मत रहो. And from here starts the realm of Purusharth. कहाँ लग सकता है? And that whole, I hope we can bring clarity into that process tomorrow. I'll try. Okay, we can end here. Yeah. Where is the share? You want to chant now? Can you see the slide?
ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु, सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखात् भवेत्. असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय. ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाते परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण मही महिषाः, गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः, पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी, देशोऽयं शोकरहितः, ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm glad.
Dhanyavad Dipti ji.
Dhanyavad, everyone.
Thank you, Dipti ji. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om,
Thank you.
Dipti ji.
Thank you. Thank you.
First, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.